Today we're going to talk a little bit about giving. On yesterday we know that it was Giving Tuesday. So a little bit we're going to say is Jesus is the perfect example of what generosity looks like. He gave up his life and he died a cruel death so that we could be saved through the riches and God's grace. See, in 2 Corinthians, Paul wrote to the church in Corinthians, he's urging them to help Christians suffering in Jerusalem by giving generously. So we're going to get 3 examples today how we can learn how Paul was talking about what it looks like to be generous in life. When life happens, sometimes we being faced with financial hardships, it's not always easy to give with a cheerful heart. So how can we give in the midst of our struggles? We must remember that everything that we have, it comes from God. We simply get to only be stewards of it. When we learn how to shift our mindsets from my resources, because sometimes we always have that mind, but from our own resources to God's resources, it can change the way that we live. We are able to live with an open hand, trusting God with what he has given us and blessing others with a cheerful heart. And then God equips us for what he calls us to do. 2 Corinthians 9:8 says, and God is able to bless you abundantly so that in all things at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work. So are you trusting God with everything that he has given you? When we choose to live generous, we are surrendering our desires, admitting that we have nothing and are fully relying on God's provision. You don't need to have a lot just to give. You just have to be faithful with what God has given you. Giving is an act of surrendering and completing faith that God will provide. And then 3, giving is an expression of thanksgiving. 2 Corinthians 9:12 tells us, this service that you perform is not supplying the needs of the Lord's people, but it also overflowing in many expressions of thanks to God. Generosity is more than just a gift to others. It's a reflection of your heart. God doesn't want us to live generous because we have to, but because it's our deepest desire to help others and to glorify the Lord. And when we give out of gratitude, it is a reflection of the transformation that we experience through the gospel. So I'm going to leave this little prayer with you because I didn't want to be long today. Just want to talk a little bit on being generous and giving. My prayer for generosity, my righteous God, you created us. You created us male and female in your own image. And because we are made in the image, we are made to reflect your giving and your generous nature. Therefore, we ask that you mold us to be better, reflecting this image. Shape our hearts and our minds and our souls that we might learn to give as freely as you gave. For you are a God who holds nothing back, but lays down even your own life for us. So, Father, teach us. Not good fruits are being produced from a good tree. Likewise, kindness flows not from the heart that is made of a stone, but from the new heart that is given to us through your spirit. So, Lord, teach us to be kind in heart, so that your love and your grace and your charity flows forth like a river. And give us a generosity that reflects your own. Through Jesus Christ that we pray.